that's making you look at these videos? How about this? I got one better for you. If you're watching this video, you need a scalp evaluation. You know why? Because hi baddie, how are you? Or hey baddies rather, because hopefully there's more than one of you watching these videos. It's your girl Bevy, and I am really excited to talk to you today about how to get a full lace front, full lace Lamborghini custom wig made for free-ish, okay? And so let me explain to you what I mean by all of that before we jump into the steps, okay? Because there's gonna be about 5 steps, give or take, right? Maybe 4 or 5 steps, because they kind of all commingle with each other on how you can get a custom wig. Now, I'm not talking about, you know, no wig that you buy in the store. You can't even buy this wig from Arrogant Tay, honey, okay? Arrogant Tay can't even buy this wig for you, okay, honey? You need to go and you can get a custom wig designed just for you, exactly how you want it. If you want Indian, Peruvian, Yaki, whatever. I mean, I don't even know, child. I don't even know all the hair strands, fully human, whatever. With the lace that you want, if you want a full lace, if you want a lace front, if you want a 360 ABCD. Listen, for those of y'all who know wig language better than I do, you can get the Lamborghini of wigs custom made for you for almost free, because your insurance company will pay for it. Yes, your insurance company will pay for it if you are experiencing hair loss. So don't say I'm not the plug. Don't say I don't hook y'all up. Don't say, well, she's always telling us what we can do to grow our hair back and our scalp and all of that. But child, I'm trying to look bad now. I'm trying to be a shorty now. I need the hair to look like it's growing out my scalp today. It's the summertime, honey. All right. So if you that girl who you want to make sure that your scalp and your hair is healthy underneath that wig, because I will not teach you anything else. If you want to make sure that that scalp and that hair is healthy underneath that wig, and you growing that flourishing hair, but you know, it's still in that uncomfortable place where it hasn't really grown yet, or you know how it be, and you want to feel good about yourself today with a wig, girl, close your wallet. Let me save you some bread. Save your money. Don't go and spending 100, 5, 2, 3, well, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever, 1,000 on no wig out here. Do not buy nothing from nobody else. We're gonna get you a custom wig, okay? I call it the Lamborghini of wigs, made specifically for you, boo, okay? It's gonna look like it's coming out your scalp. These are the things that they use for cancer patients, and it is open to everybody if you are experiencing hair loss, okay? So without further ado, we're going to talk about it. I'm going to chime in on this video with some posts. You're going to see some clips from an interview from our Supernaturals podcast interview with Tyshawn McCray, where she's basically a hair loss practitioner, and she is a nurse, and she talks about, she has a hair loss clinic where she does these installs and these custom wigs for women all the time, and she gets them the money to get their wigs for free, okay? So we're going to cue her in. You're going to see the video. You're going to watch. Don't say I didn't tell you. Please grab a pen and grab a pad. This one, I'm telling you, okay, is a plug that you're not going to get nowhere else, and you'll thank me later, okay? And thank me by taking pictures of you with your wig, and you can go ahead and tag Hairscripts, okay? Or at Bevy Hans, whoever you want to tag, but let us know that we put you on to the plug, okay? So without further ado, let us get into that, okay? So really quickly, I want to introduce to you Tyshawn McCray. She's today's guest. She is basically the founder and CEO of Custom Crowns. That's a hair loss clinic in Hollywood, Florida. All right. So if you're in that area, shout out to you. And please, please, please go check her out, because she can help you really, really get you a custom wig, honey, for free-ish. Okay. Free-ish. So let's before we even go into all the details, if you don't mind, again, just reintroducing yourself, and it's going to be like your first time anyway, introducing yourself to everyone. who you are, and how did you get into doing this, and the success that you've had with getting patients their wigs for free-ish.
Okay. So again, hello everyone. Hello, first timers and returning. My name is Tyshawn Martin McCray. I am a nurse trichologist, hair loss practitioner, and medical tattoo artist. And I didn't say that on the first one, so that's the first time.
Okay.
And yeah, I nurse first, and from all this came about because of nursing. Really, my first love is hair, and I never lost that love for hair. I've been styling hair and braiding hair since I was about nine-ish, preteen, and it's carried all the way through to my nursing career. While I was in nursing school, I was styling hair. So I just, even though I was still caring for patients and things like that, I just never left that behind. And when I started caring for cancer patients, I saw how them getting the cancer diagnosis and then them losing their hair, how that affected them. And I wanted to combine the two loves. So what ended up happening was, one of my aunts, I would share it with my family, and one of my aunts would encourage me often on, yeah, you can do this. You can, actually service them, and that goes well with your nursing. And so I continued to research and figure out how to do it. And like I said, I was well ahead of my time, because this was around 2002, when no one knew about lace front wigs.
Right.
And that TV stars and celebrities were wearing these wigs. We thought that they were doing different things to their hair, and it was a wig the whole time. And so took a course on it. Very hard to find a course that's specifically on that. Found a young lady on IG who had the same exact story, but it was her mom, who had a family member who suffered from cancer. And like I said, well, I didn't say that to you all. I said that in IG. That my aunt was diagnosed with, the same aunt that would encourage me. She found out she was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. And so many years prior, she was pushing me to do this, and not knowing she would benefit from the service. So she was one of my first patients, one of my first clients. And unfortunately, like a year or so later, we lost her to the battle of ovarian cancer.
Sorry to hear that.
But in that journey, I found that you could actually get your wig covered if your insurance plan,
was definitely
if it's in your insurance plan.
She was definitely an angel. She definitely set you up for success.
Yes, because after she passed, it kind of like propelled me that I got to do it. There's a need. There's people out here who need that service. And in my studies for trichology, it widened to not only cancer patients, that a lot of people lose their hair for different reasons and will qualify for a cranial prosthesis, is what it's called, when you're getting it covered by your insurance company.
And that was my next question, which is funny that you transitioned that way, because and I think some people, have heard that cancer patients can get their wigs covered, right? But I think the average person is like, well, this is not for me, because thank God I don't have cancer. I just have alopecia, right? Which alopecia within itself is an umbrella term, but we're not going to talk about it today. But I just have alopecia, or my edges is falling out. I'm just going to rub some oil on my scalp and get it back. When did you figure out that you can actually get, a custom wig lace front? Okay, we talking about good wigs here, y'all.
And not only lace front, it could be completely lace. It could be a full lace.
Okay. Wig. So listen, we not talking about no cheap wigs. We not talking about no shiny wigs. We talking
nothing that you can buy out of the store, because that's why we're custom crowns, because it's customized to fit your head. You cannot purchase it anywhere else.
Exactly. So
nobody can put your wig on. Nobody can share your wig.
So let's talk about that. When did you figure out that women that does not suffer from cancer, can actually have their wig covered? Like, what happened? What was the epiphany moment?
Like I said, my niche was very small. And as I just was like studying for trichology, which is in layman's term, hair doctor, they say you're not really a doctor because you're not medically practicing, but you are a professional that studies scalp and hair.
Right.
And so when I was doing that study and realized there were a plethora of, like, just like you said, alopecia is a blanket term, so that there were so many causes for extensive hair loss that when you that's all you need is to have extensive hair loss for a medical for an insurance company to want to cover it, because they can't only cater to a certain group of people. So
Right.
if you fall in that category of hair loss, extensive hair loss, and that you have been diagnosed by a dermatologist, then they have to cover it.
So what are some diagnoses that you've gotten wigs for? Name a few.
You can have androgenic alopecia. Definitely the CCCA, the one where you don't, that it's scarring alopecia. Your hair is not coming back. And it's all about, and see, that's the thing too with insurance companies. It's not cookie cut, because most insurance companies don't want to pay for, especially for hair. They don't want to go into that. They don't want to create codes that go into the hair, because they already have so many for medical. So that's where it gives trichologists that space to practice alongside a dermatologist, like in conjunction with, because you tell the dermatologist this is what's going on. They look closer into it, and then they can put their medical stamp on it and send it over to the medical insurance company to get it covered. I also just remembered HSA and FSA. If you don't have, if you're not covered under the plan, you have your health insurance card that you can use. Because my company is a national healthcare provider, which means I have the same number that your doctor's office has that I can bill your insurance company for. The issue will be sometimes if I am not in network, the cost will be higher. We would have to negotiate a private rate with that insurance company.
Okay, so let's take a step back real quick, because I don't want to go over nobody's head assuming they understand this dialect, right? So what she's saying is cancer patients are not the only ones who can get their wigs for free-ish, meaning covered by the insurance company, right? So you may have to pay a copay, you may have to pay a deductible, maybe, depending on your insurance company is different. But for the most part, I mean, if it's like a $5,000 wig, honey,
exactly,
I'm out paying $100,
right?
Sis, that's the thing, okay?
Right.
And you can customize it. You can tell them what you want. You can pick the color, the size, the length. But anyway,
we measure your head. We create it from the foundation. We actually sewed the foundation. Everything is hand tied.
It's jaws, okay?
Strand by strand. We're working over here. We're working in the factory.
But I want to go back because I want to make sure that it don't go over their heads. But it's not just for cancer patients, at least not anymore. It's been expanded, and there's many reasons why it's been expanded, right?
Absolutely.
I don't want to go into the nitty gritty because ultimately, you guys, me, none of us regular folk, right? We can't just go ahead and call our insurance company and be like, hey, can I get a wig? That's not how it works. You have to follow the steps, and we're going to get into the steps next. It's not as complicated as you think. The complicated part, Tashawn, she will take care of that. Her and her agency, her and her clinic, take care of the complicated part. But before we get into that, I'm just going to tell you, if you are experiencing any form of hair loss, the reason why you would qualify for a cranial prosthesis, right? That's what it's called. That's the medical term for it, aka a wig, a lace front custom wig, is because there are a lot of ramifications, especially mental health ramifications associated with hair loss. See, if y'all didn't think this was real, if insurance companies didn't understand, okay, they wouldn't be paying. But like you, I mean, some of us could pay to get, a tummy tuck and all of that, some of us. But for the most part, the reason why is because hair loss has such a negative impact on your self-esteem. Whether you're experiencing cancer or not, there are so much that the impact that it has on your self-esteem. And
Absolutely.
Sean and her team, they know exactly what to say when they're putting together your claim on how to get that covered. But let's go back to you. You know, if you're losing, so she said it could be androgenic alopecia, which is what I was diagnosed with, which means you have female pattern hair loss, right? There's different, you're losing your hair, which is very hormonal, right? It's due to hormones. Yes. It could be CCCA if you're losing hair at the crown of your hair, meaning it's going bald and it's not coming back, sis. You can do a lot of things to kind of slow down the progression.
Right.
Have people on to talk about that. You can go to YouTube, you can go to the podcast and check out those videos. But for the most part, when you start to, if you're diagnosed with CCCA and you're losing hair at the crown of your head, it's not coming back. So you qualify. Those are just two to name a few. But how do you know if you have these things? If you're losing your edges, that's traction alopecia, right? But how do you know that you have these things? Okay, so this is the moment that you've been waiting for. Let's jump right into the steps, okay? So I'm gonna name the steps really quickly, and then I'm gonna insert some clips of, you know, Tyshawn talking about exactly how these steps work. So, okay, step 1, you're gonna get a scalp evaluation, okay, from a hair loss specialist, okay? Whether that's a dermatologist, a trichologist, or you can go directly to Tyshawn. I'm gonna link her information down below. Go directly to her. But what I'm saying is, if you don't know where to start, if you don't know where to find a practitioner, if you don't know where to find a hair expert, okay, either in your area or virtually that specializes in skin and hair of color, click on the link below to hairscriptsapp.com. Don't say I didn't tell you. Hairscripts is the plug. We will connect you to someone in your area, or you can get a free scalp evaluation virtually with a vetted expert who specializes in skin and hair of color. It is not the same. We do not present with certain skin diseases the same way. You have to have a trained eye to understand skin of color. And as far as the scalp and the hair is concerned, while the scalp may be the same, the hair on the head is not the same, and the same products do not do or do not give what it's supposed to give to the same hair or to the hair on the scalp. Know what I mean? Anyway, so you need a free scalp evaluation. Oh, well, you can get a free scalp evaluation through hairscriptsapp.com. You can go to Tyshawn directly, or if you have a dermatologist, or if you want a dermatologist, or if you want someone, basically they have to be a hair loss expert, okay? Hairscriptsapp.com. That's step 1. You need a scalp evaluation. I don't want to tell you guys again. A scalp evaluation is very important, okay? Most times it's free. Most times you can get a full assessment diagnostic of what's up with your scalp for free. There is so much technology out there to put your scalp under a microscope, to put your hair follicle under a microscope, to put your strands under a microscope. Sis, you have no excuse. I don't want to hear it. She's not listening. I've tuned off. I talk too much and I like to hear myself speak, okay? Now, who needs a hair evaluation, a scalp evaluation? If your hair is falling out, if you're losing your edges, if you have bald spots, if you have alopecia. And I only say it that way because that's how people understand it. But alopecia is an umbrella statement. It's an umbrella term where there are subsets of alopecia and different diagnoses under alopecia. But I just say alopecia the way people say eczema, and it's the same concept with eczema. But I say it that way because you understand that if you have bald spots, if you have patches of hair, if you have hair thinning, if your hair is falling out, if your baby snatch your edges, if your man snatch your edges, if your homegirl if you snatched them yourself, you know, anything that you know is wrong, if your scalp is inflamed, if it's itchy, if it's and anything that's making you run to YouTube and Instagram to find the next best hair growth oil and serum, okay? I have that video too if you want to see the best hair growth serums. But anyway, anything that's making you look at these videos, how about this? I got one better for you. If you're watching this video, you need a scalp evaluation. You know why? Because more than likely, you're on this channel, you're tuned in because you're trying to figure out how to stop the bleeding, or AKA how to stop your hair from falling out and how to regrow it back. And you've slapped every avocado and every aloe vera and every ketchup and mustard that's in your refrigerator and it has not worked. Then this video is for you. Not to say settle for a wig. What I'm saying is while you're regrowing and restoring your hair underneath that wig, child, you can get your wig for free. Don't say I didn't put you on, okay? So those are the people who qualify for a scalp evaluation.
Okay.
So I know that I'm losing hair, right? I see a whole bunch of shedding in the shower. Wash day shed is like crazy, okay? It's like a whole, I could literally sew a wig together with what I'm shedding, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do I have to do? What's the first step that I have to take to make sure that I can get this wig so that while I'm taking care of my hair and trying to grow it back, y'all, plug, I could at least feel good with the wig that I have on.
Okay, so first,
That
a
one.
ton of hair. It's okay to lose 50 to 100 strands a day. Now, like she said, making the whole, if you're able to make a whole wig, I suggest you see a professional. You don't have to necessarily see me or a trichologist. You should see a dermatologist at least to start. One, like you said, that's vetted by Hairscripts, because all dermatologists are not created equal. There are a lot of dermatologists that, because again, with codes and getting payment, there's not an area that allows us to practice. So
Right.
see a professional that is vetted, and then let them actually diagnose you, because trichologists don't diagnose. So even if you came to a trichologist first and we recognize something, we work with your dermatologist, or we can give you a report and take it to your dermatologist where they can diagnose you and actually write a letter and have them, you speak up as a patient, have them write a prescription with their NPI number on it, which is their national number on it, that says cranial prosthesis. If they want specifics or medical wig or whatever, but it needs to say that. And then if they want to go a step further, they can write the medical necessity letter for you.
Okay, so let's
other
stop
than
really
having
quickly.
us write it.
So I want to slow down really quickly. Step one, if you're noticing some type of hair loss, period. And I tell you guys this all the time. If something ain't right, if it feel like it's not right, 100% of the time it's not, right?
Yeah.
Go get a scalp evaluation. Go see a dermatologist, go see a trichologist. Shameless plug, go to hairscripts.app.com if you don't know where to start, right? If you don't have your own dermatologist, right? Or you can get a virtual scalp evaluation, right?
Yes.
If you're anywhere in the US, right, you can get a virtual scalp evaluation with Tyshawn, and she knows what she has to do, right? But let's say you don't do it with her. You can do it with her. If you're anywhere in the US, you can get a virtual scalp evaluation, and that will start the process, right? Okay, so step two, once you get a scalp evaluation, and again, remember, like I said, all these steps kind of linger into the other one. But step two, once you get a scalp evaluation, and once your doctor tells you, such and such, whatever, Shaniqua or Sarah, whoever you are, right? We all inclusive here. Once your doctor says to you, okay, there is an issue with your scalp, maybe they won't tell it from the first evaluation. They may say that they want you to come back in and do a biopsy. Some people are different. Some people may just take the strands right there and and put it under a microscope or what. Everyone is different, right? That's why you need to date your doctor and get to know who it is that you're going to be with, so you can know the process that they take and their treatment algorithm or their treatment routine, right? Anyway, so whatever they do, finally they came to a diagnosis and they said, hey, you have traction alopecia, you have CCCA, okay? I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the whole word because I'm going to jack it up. So I'll probably just write what CCCA stand for. Okay. That's scarring. That's a form of scarring alopecia at the crown of your head, where you're starting to see yourself go bald at the crown. And unfortunately that hair is not coming back because it's scarring alopecia. And it means that you can do things that's going to slow the progression of that hair fall. But for the most part, it's not coming back, right? Androgenic alopecia, female pattern hair loss, there's a variety, okay, and variants of so many different types of hair loss, okay, that you can be experiencing. But once your doctor have said you have a form of hair loss, step two is you asking that doctor for that dermatologist, and specifically it does have to be a dermatologist, or someone who's licensed to medically to write a prescription, a practitioner. You have to then tell that person, can I have a prescription for something called a cranial prosthesis, okay? A cranial prosthesis. Put it down here, cranial prosthesis. A cranial prosthesis, AKA, is just a medical term for a custom wig. That's all it is. It sounds really up there. I mean, that's what medical do. They make everything simple sound extremely, like instead of saying skin, they'll call it dermis, like stuff like that. But anyway, you're going to ask if they don't, because they're not going to do this, right? What they're going to do, what your dermatologist or whatever, they're going to start to put together a custom hair growth plan for you to grow your hair back. And that's great. But this is not that video today, right? Now, please, they're going to tell you what you need to do, the steps you need to take, all the multifactorial steps that you need to take, because it's more than one step. More than likely it's going to consist of you taking supplements, you taking topical treatments, you doing some type of cosmetic and medical treatments. Some things may consist of injections. It all depends on what that treatment algorithm or that your custom treatment is, so that you can regrow your hair. But while they're doing all of that, and when they're done kind of walking you through your custom hair growth plan, then you're going to ask, hey, doctor, by the way, while I'm waiting for my hair to grow back, can you write a prescription for a cranial prosthesis, aka a custom wig? That's all you need. That's all they need, is to write a prescription on their prescription pad or through their system. You just need a prescription for that. Step 2, there's actually something wrong with you. So we're not going to fake and say that there's something wrong with you, but that you're actually having traction alopecia. You actually have a diagnosis. It's been done eventually, right? And now you can ask your dermatologist. If you haven't gone directly to Tyshawn and you already have a dermatologist, you can ask your dermatologist to write you a prescription for something called a cranial prosthesis, aka a wig, a custom wig.
Yes.
Step 2, ask them, because most of them are not going to think about it off the top of their head. Ask them, can you get a prescription for a cranial prosthesis? Am I saying it correctly?
Correct. Prosthesis. Just like a prosthetic leg. Yeah.
Right. And that's AKA a custom hair wig, a custom hairpiece transplant, right? Now, step 3 and step 2 are kind of the same in that the doctor can go and take an extra step and write something called a medical necessity letter, aka just a quick little letter of statement saying this is why, when the claim is submitted to the insurance company, Shaniqua or Sarah needs a cranial prosthesis, aka a custom wig, because she's experiencing this type of hair loss, whether it's traction alopecia, whatever the hair loss is, she's experiencing hair loss and it's having negative effects on her self-esteem, on her mental health, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, if the dermatologist doesn't want to go the extra step and write it, no problem. No problem, because here at Hairscripts, we have the plug. And her name is Tyshawn McCray, okay? Her information is down below. And she basically is licensed to operate anywhere in the US of A. Her hair loss clinic, called Custom Crowns, is located in Hollywood, Florida, not California, Hollywood, Florida. So if you're in the Florida area, you can start this process from step 1 by just going directly to her. If you're anywhere else in the US, I'm in New York, if you're in, LA, if you're in Timbuktu, if you're in Alaska, you can start the process with her as well. And you can basically go and get a virtual scalp evaluation and consultation directly from her. Link down below, and she'll start the process for you. Okay? You still need that doctor though. You still need the dermatologist, but I'll explain why and how in a minute if you decide to go straight to her. But anyway, long story short, if the doctor doesn't write it, it's fine. The doctor doesn't have to write it. It's nice if they do, because they're your doctor, and for whatever reason, it would make a lot of sense coming from the doctor, and the doctor signs it, right? But if the doctor doesn't write it and sign it, it's totally fine. What's going to happen now in step 3 is that you're going to now reach out to Tyshawn McCray and say, hey, I have a prescription for a cranial prosthesis, aka a custom wig. And then what she's going to do is say, no problem. Let me get your insurance information. Let me get your prescription, and I will write the letter for you. I will write the medical necessity letter stating that you're experiencing this type of hair loss, you have a prescription for a cranial prosthesis, and this is the reason why. By the way, she's written these letters over and over and over again, and she has really good success rates, and we're going to go into step 2 with her in a minute, okay? But long story short, once you get that done, the reason why you still need a dermatologist is because a doctor has to sign it. The dermatologist has to sign it. So the dermatologist has to go ahead and just sign it off. So basically, it's like getting a recommendation letter. When you ask someone for a recommendation letter and they're too lazy to write it themselves, or they just don't have time, and you write it and then you type it out and then you send it to them so that they can sign it. That's all it is, okay? So now Tyshawn and her team at Custom Crowns, they write up the letter, they make it sound nice because they know exactly the buzzwords that they need to use and the keywords that they need to use to get it approved by the insurance companies. And then you go ahead and now take it to your dermatologist or whoever to now get you to sign it and say thank you. I mean, to say whatever that you needed, okay? So that's step 3. So let's tune in with her really quickly about step 3, and let's go into step 4 in a second. So now, step 3, they write the prescription, right? The doctor writes the prescription. Now, you can ask the doctor to write kind of like a letter. Basically, that letter is basically saying, hey, my patient really needs this because she's experiencing hair loss. It's taking a toll on her mind, body, and soul. But if your doctor don't want to do that, okay, if your doctor's like, look, here's the prescription. Now, cue in Tyshawn and Custom Crowns. What can they do for you? Step 3.
Well, I'm because I've dealt with that side. I'm having technical issues with my camera here, but I've dealt with that side of writing medical necessity letters, and so I can write a medical necessity letter. However, we would have to have that doctor sign it.
Okay. No problem.
Yeah, because that's the part that is, we need that from the medical standpoint to get it covered, to get it to make so the insurance company know that we're serious. We have to have that doctor's stamp on it.
And this is why I want to take a pause. This is why it's important that you have a doctor that treats patients' skin and hair of color, right? Because they have to care. They have to care. You can't just have somebody who's just going to give you a script and just be like, all right, have a nice life.
Right.
You need the right person who cares about your journey, your hair growth journey, okay? Because it's a journey, sis. It's a marathon.
Yeah. Okay? And but recognizes that it is mental, that there are mental things.
Right. Yeah. Because some of them are not sensitive. No. And that's fine. But that's how we're here to help you connect with someone who is sensitive. Okay. So now, step 4. I told y'all, come with y'all pen and y'all paper. Before I go into step 4, if y'all liking what y'all hearing, do me a favor. If you like what you hear with your thumbs, with your mouse, please click on that like button. Please click on that like button, okay? I'm gonna need y'all to really click on this like button if you're really enjoying what you're hearing, and if we spilling tea on how you can get a custom Lamborghini wig, okay? Made for you, okay? If you're experiencing any type of hair loss at any level. It don't have to be extreme. It could be mild, it could be moderate, it could be severe. Child, if you are dealing with some shedding right now, you better run, not walk, to Tyshawn's website, to hairscriptsapp.com. Let's get it on and popping, because over here we're going to tell you how to get your hair back, how to grow it back nice and popping. And when we do that, don't get mad that you didn't get your custom wig while you were going bald. I'm just saying, okay? Thank you for liking the video before I move on, because I'm going to wait. All right, so now that we've all liked the video, if you guys want more on this, I could even do I could do a series, I could do a sitcom. You let me know if y'all really, really want to know how to get y'all wigs for free, okay? But anyway, now, step 4, and step 4 is really not your step 4, okay? Now, during this process, and she's going to explain this, and we're going to see this in a minute. During this process, really, of step 4 is when you're now sending all your wish pics, okay? You're sending her who you want to look like Beyonce, you want to look like whoever, Nicki Minaj. I mean, you want to look like, you give them a look. I don't know who got good. You want Farrah Fawcett hair, you want curly hair, you want to look like, like me. I call myself Bevy, but it's Giselle to some people. Like, listen, whoever you want to look like, however you want your hair to look like is growing out your scalp, do me a favor, okay? Do me a favor, start getting all your wish pics together, and you going now. In this process, you're sending, step 4 is really you sending your wish pics to Tyshawn and her team at Custom Crowns, because what's going to happen with Custom Crowns is now they're basically now collecting all the data, compiling all the data to create you this custom, and when I say Lamborghini wig, I mean a Lamborghini wig, because this is your wish list. This is exactly what you want and how you want your wig to look. So now step 4 for you is telling her exactly what you want. This is your dream come true. Step 4 for her is now going to your insurance company and basically submitting the claim and doing all of that. You don't got to worry about that. You sit back, relax, and wait for her to get back to you in a week. Within a week, she's going to tell you exactly what your insurance company is saying, okay? And you're going to basically hear this. We're going to shoot back over there to the podcast, real quick episode, and she's going to tell you exactly how that look. I'm not going to go into all the details right here, but she's basically going to find out from your insurance company. By the way, let me highlight this. This is only if you have commercial insurance. If you have Medicaid and Medicare, that may not be the case. This may not work for you. This may not be the case. Not to say it doesn't, but she hasn't. Custom Crowns and them and her team have not tapped into how to get it covered yet through Medicaid, through Medicaid and Medicare. But honey, stay tuned, because they will find that information out, and when they do, I will, and I'm gonna come plug y'all in. So for everybody who got Medicaid and Medicare, sit tight. Your turn is coming. Now for everybody else. Now, the next step is you're putting together your wish list of this custom wig that you want and all the things on your wish list that you want. You're giving it to her. She's going to take that to the insurance company. She's going to put it together, find out the total cost, go to the insurance company, your insurance company with the letter and everything. And she's writing out the whole claim and all that long drawn out process that you don't care about, because that's what she does and her team. And then she's going to get it approved. Now, what you're approved for is completely contingent on your insurance company. Whatever your insurance company is, some insurance companies, and she's going to say this, will cover 80% of the cost. You only have to pay 20% out of pocket. You know, that's the majority. Some will give you a flat rate, like, okay, we only paying this much towards the wig. Everybody's different, okay? Everybody's insurance company is different. There's no way for you to know until you go check out Custom Crowns and Tyshawn's team. But for now, we're gonna tune into what she says and she goes into details, and then we're gonna go into the next step, which really is almost the end. But what I want to say really quickly is, honestly, I can say this now. What I want you guys to know basically is that once you find out exactly how much you're being covered for, now Custom Crowns and her team, Tyshawn and her team, has partnerships with several nonprofit organizations across the US that also turns around and pays the difference of your wig. They even write a check. They give you a flat amount. They say here's $500. They say they can give you, she said she's seen mostly up to $1,500. They will write a check. And here's the beauty of it. I know if you're anything like me, when you hear the word grant, you just turn off. You're just like, never mind. I don't want to do all that work. Just take me to the shopping cart. I'll pay it myself. Quad pay, Klarna, whatever. I'll just pay for it myself. I don't got time. No. Listen, sis. Okay? Listen. Her and her team will get the grant for you. They will write out the application. They will do all the little paperwork, all the details that need to be done to get you the money. You don't got to do nothing, okay? All you got to do is just sit back and wait for your stuff to be made, okay? And as she'll tell you, she works out different things with different people depending on the insurance company and the grant. Depending on all the money matters, she can start working on your stuff to be made. Maybe you might just leave a small deposit and you'll get that deposit back. It is different for everybody. Tune in to her part where she talks about it out of her mouth, and then we'll come back to basically the last and final step, which is step 5, okay? Now, step 4.
So now we would call the insurance company and find out what your plan covers, like you as an individual, because everybody's coverage is not the same. So once we figure out,
that's what you and your team does, right?
Yes, we do that. We do that because we'll get your information, and then we'll get the I guess your service of consent for service and things like that, because we do follow HIPAA over here, because dealing with insurance companies,
right,
we have to have you sign HIPAA information and not sharing and all of that good stuff.
Right.
So we would have to get all that healthcare information so that we can call your insurance company for you to find out what is actually covered by your plan.
Right.
If we are in network, that means if we are part of your insurance company's network of providers, then the cost may be clear cut and dry. There
Give
may
me
be a
some
copay.
examples of some cost ranges.
I know right now, Blue Cross Blue Shield, they do $500.
Okay.
Like they cover up to $500.
They cover up to $500.
Yes.
Meaning
And
whatever
that's
they
it.
come up to, they pay up to $500. You pay the difference.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yes. You have where people pay 80 to 20. So then that means the customer or patient will be responsible for 20%.
Gotcha. So
And the insurance company will cover 80.
So let me
whatever it comes up to.
Numbers, right? So let's say the wig comes up to $2,000. Is that an average price for a wig?
Beginning for a basic one.
And listen, y'all, we not talking about no cheapy wigs. Okay?
No. It takes 40 working hours to build one from scratch.
Right. So we talking about real, we talking about it looks like hair coming out of your head. We talking about real human hair, full lace or lace fronts, whatever you want. Like you can customize the color, all of that, the feel, the shape. If you want to be mira, if you want to be like chocolate, whatever you want to be, you could be that, right?
Yep.
So let's just assume $2,000, right?
Right.
$2,000 for a wig. Now, which insurance company is this?
Okay, for the 80/20,
yeah,
that's the majority, like your Humanas, your Simplies, I'm trying to think of it's all Coventry, but it's not Coventry anymore.
But for the most part,
Admed, Aetna, those are like 80/20s.
So 80/20 meaning they pay 80% of that wig and you pay 20.
Yes.
So that means basically I would be paying for a $2,000 wig. Excuse me, let me do that again. Hold on. Let me not embarrass myself with my math skills, y'all. $400. So if the wig
that's right?
That's 20%.
2,000? Wow.
Yeah, $400.
That's it.
Come on now, don't.
Yeah.
Y'all come for me in the comments.
Listen, I'm not that great either with the numbers. I have to actually.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna put that on my head. Y'all come for me in the comments if I mess that one up, okay? Yeah, 20% of that $2,000 is $400. So you'll pay $400 for a $2,000 wig, and obviously, the more customizations you want,
right,
the more you pay. But for the more 80%, for the insurance to pay 80% of your wig, honey.
Yeah, that's a low copay. That's $400 for $2,000. Yeah, for $2,000.
Network. That's if you're in network.
That's if I'm in network.
That means
I'm in network.
If you're in network, Tyshawn McCray, that means if you're in network. Okay.
Yes.
So if you're not in network, what's a typical?
They call that. Well, there's no typical. I would charge what the wig will still be $2,000, and then we would have to negotiate what they're willing to pay. I would have to give them the value, and then that's like basically contract based. So it will possibly still be 80/20. They may up the 20% a little bit, or they may. Okay, so here are some scenarios. They may up the percentage that's out of pocket for which is usually the first thing. They up what's out of pocket for the client or the patient. The next thing would be you would have to possibly use your FSA or your HSA, your little card, and we take those too. And the last one is you pay for the whole thing up front and they reimburse you.
Okay. Now let's take a step back. If your insurance, if Tyshawn is not within your insurance network, there's no one size fit all price. There's no one size fit all way. But for the most part, there's different ways that the insurance can go about it. They may do 80/20. They may do something a little higher, right, than just 20%. Maybe you have to pay 40%. Maybe you have to pay 35%. It depends. Some insurances may say, you know what, we approve it, but she has to pay it, and then they'll reimburse you the whole thing, or they'll reimburse you a portion?
It depends on your plan, and it depends on the
So
insurance company.
there's no one size fit all. The point is, you'll get a little bit of help, right?
Yeah.
Towards the payment of your custom wig. Okay, so obviously, if you made it up to this step, that means you are really, really excited about what we're talking about. You sat through me going through it, kind of giving you a paraphrase of all the steps. And then, you know, Tyshawn from Custom Crowns is really going into the nitty gritty and all the details via the podcast. So this, I'm letting you know, I'm setting you up. This was and is a long video. I should have set you up in the beginning, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. So if you haven't already, please like the video. Let us know that you love it. And then subscribe to the channel, because this is the plug, y'all. This is the plug for all things beauty, okay? If you want to be a baddie at any age, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, honey, you need to tune in, because we talk about everything hair care, self-care, intimate care, feminine care, skin care. I mean, look, care and just care, okay? Okay, we normalize being selfish on this channel, okay? So anyway, all that to be said, the last and final step is installation. Okay, now if you've been watching, as she says in the video, it takes about 5 months, not 5 months, it could take up to 3 months, right? Maybe more, for your custom Lamborghini wig to be made. Now, like she said, you cannot rush perfection. You want this hair to look like it's growing up out of your scalp. You want to feel like a boss, like the baddie that you are, while you are working on your actual hair and scalp health that your doctor has prescribed and created that custom growth plan for you, and you watching Hairscripts and you following everything that we talk about. You're doing all of that, sis, underneath that wig. But while that wig is on, sis, while that wig is on, you are a baddie, okay? So step 5 is basically just, you get that phone call 3 months later that your wig is ready. If you're anywhere else in the US, you have 3 options. She can basically ship your wig directly to you, and you can go to your hairstylist of choice. Okay, you can spend your money on your installation. Okay, you can do it whoever you want to go get that custom built wig installed for you. Okay. Step 2, you can meet with Tyshawn and her team at Custom Crowns in Hollywood, Florida, and she can do the install for you. She can make any last minute tweaks. She can do all that stuff for you. Or step 3, you know, when you're asking for what you want made, while you're going through all those steps of what you want made in the beginning, if you want it to be a wig that you don't have to go get installed, that you need glue for or don't need glue for, you can tell her that too. You can say, listen, just stick some combs in because I just want to be able to slap it on, slap it off, or maybe she could put a band, whatever you need, whatever works for you. Me, I'm anti-comb here because them combs be ripping out, be tearing stuff out, and we're not trying to undo what we're trying to do. The whole process, the whole point of this is to give you, you know, the hair that you need to look beautiful and feel bad while you're working on your actual hair on your head, right? So me, you know, however way you want to do it, whatever works for your scalp. If you want certain things, basically you want to tell her that you just want to be able to just slap it on and take it off at any time when you come and go. However way is custom. Did y'all hear custom? Yeah, custom. You could get it how you want. And yeah, and so she can ship it to you and you could just slap it on your head. You know, you might need to, you know, work it up, zhuzh it up. You know how wigs work a little bit, but that's it. And you can just slap it on and off as you need. But that is the process. And like I said, let's say that this process, give or take, is between 3 to 5 months. More likely less. I like to under promise and over deliver. But 3 to 5 months to get a custom built wig, Lamborghini wig, while you working on building your, like revamping and restoring and regrowing healthy hair and that scalp health. Like I said, the time frame could be anywhere from 3 to 5 months. But you finally get that beautiful wig and it costs you pennies, if not maybe a couple of dollars, maybe a couple of dollars. Child, I don't know what to tell you, but if this ain't tea, then I don't know what is. If y'all already got this figured out, then, you know, please comment down below. You let me know what you know about this already, because what I know and what most of us know is that this is a luxury, not a luxury, but this is a service afforded to cancer patients, existing cancer patients and survivors, right, who have lost their hair. But what a lot of us don't know is that you don't have to be a cancer patient. And we don't have to lie. Literally, if you are losing your hair for any reason, and whether it's a little bit or a lot, whether it just started or it's been going on for years, you qualify for a free-ish custom wig that is basically sponsored by your insurance company, okay? Listen, any questions, please follow me on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram at Hairscripts or at Bevy Hines. Go in my DMs, blow up my DMs. Let me know if you want to start the process. If you want a free scalp evaluation, hairscriptsapp.com. If you need a doctor who specializes in hair and skin of color and you don't know where to go and where to find them, hairscriptsapp.com. And if you want to go directly to Custom Crowns and start the process, and she'll hand walk you through the whole thing and provide you a guide to making this happen, then go directly to her website and connect with Miss Tashawn herself. And tell her Bevy at Hairscripts sent you. Okay? Subscribe to the channel. I'm only going to bring you more tea and more plugs straight from the hair experts themselves. I'm just saying. Let's talk about install, because we all know when it comes to hair, we're not just talking about getting the hair and getting the wig made. We talking about installs too. Now, before we go into installs, I want to make sure that we're done with all the steps, right? So step four is basically you find out all the details, the specifications of that person's insurance plan.
Right.
You then get back to how long does that usually take for you to find out?
It depends on how I can get through to the insurance company. Because sometimes it's like, say you have that long call, you have that long wait. I would say I would give it 3 or 4 days.
Oh,
it could be quicker than that, but it's just like getting through. Because they usually can tell you on the phone, like they can when you get to talk to somebody. That's the hardest part. When you get to speak to somebody.
So let's under promise and over deliver, right? So let's say week you're gonna get a call from Tyshawn, and she's gonna say, "Hey, this is what your plan is covering."
Right.
This is what you could do. This is the damage you can do, right?
Yeah.
Now, once they find that out, what's the next step?
Okay, now also getting covered.
Huh?
Getting covered. There are different organizations that actually will sponsor a portion as well. So on my website, under getting your wig covered, towards the bottom, there's a whole list of other organizations that will be willing to sponsor you or give you a credit or like give you some funds towards your wig.
So let's take a step back. This is after I've been approved for wig, whether I'm in network or out of network, they're willing to pay the difference. These organizations.
Yes. Not the entire difference. There are certain increments, like 500, 150, 200. They're willing to give help.
You get more money towards your wig. Through these organizations or grants, right?
Yes.
Now, let's talk to the person who wants their wig right away, right? How long do grants take to decide?
Well, it depends on it's like quarterly. It's like it's quarterly based on when it's open. I don't think that they have like how can I say? Because I've spoken to a few of them, and it's not like months at a time, like how you think, like when you normally wait for a grant.
You think,
yeah.
Let me ask you this question. I come to you, I do the whole process, right?
Yeah.
We get up to step 4, you find out that the insurance company is either paying 80, 20, whatever it is, in network, out of network, but I still have a difference. Let's say my difference is $1,000, and I'm still like, that's a little too steep, Tashawn. And you're like, okay, don't worry, there's a whole bunch of grants. Do you just give me the grant information and I gotta go and write it say? Okay.
No, I will call and try to find because before the pandemic, before the pandemic, I had made this lovely relationship with the cancer organization up north, and she was willing to cover, I think she said up to like 10 women. So I did this whole thing where I reached out to 10 different women, because it was a cancer organization. So I found these 10 different women off of Facebook, went in different groups and found these 10 women, and they were going to cover up to, I think, 1,500. I think it was 1,500. I think it was 1,500. So we'll, like you said, under promise and over deliver. 500 to 1,500.
Okay.
For each of those women's wigs, and that was going to be a check that she just wrote to Custom Crowns, and I would just I would just have to give them the list of names. But we would they would have to qualify because they were a non-for-profit. So they would have to go through that list of what's going on with those women and finding out. So most of the companies that do give the grants or give donate a fee, a portion, they are non-for-profits. So there are criteria that you have to meet. And once you meet that criteria, we will submit that on your behalf. And then once we get that covered, then we go forward from there.
And so you do, okay, so good. Because I could be honest with you.
No. This is supposed to be
right.
a less stress process.
Right. So the way my head and my mind is set up, when I hear grant, I'm like, oh, I got to write a whole essay, 500 words, and then it's like, people just, no. But what I love is you do that work.
Yes, because that's a part of us getting to know you, because this is not like we're just selling you a wig.
It's not
it's not like that.
Relationship.
This whole process is like building you up, figuring out what's going on with you, because that's how we got to make the wig. We got to know who you are. We got to make this wig to fit you. We need to know.
My wig is Giselle. And
we need to know your zhuzh. We can't just make this wig for you. Yeah.
So now let's take not a step back, but so really quickly, a step back a little bit. So for step 4, like we mentioned, you determine whether they're covered, whatever that situation is, and you get back to the client within a week, right? And let them know what the situation is. If they do still have a chunk of change left, you then can offer them a grant, and you go through the process of obtaining this grant for them.
Right.
So while you're obtaining the grant, you haven't created the wig yet, right? You're just waiting to see if the grant is going to be approved for them. So let's say I have a $2,000 balance after the insurance pays, after all that is done, and I still got a $2,000 balance.
Right. Okay. So now that's depending on $2,000 is a little high, but if we were to work it down to 500, there's, based on what's going on with the patient, we can make some wiggle room where we can move forward with the process, and then either do like installments, automated installment payments, or something like that, where we would be able to get it covered before we get it to you.
So you can start working on it even though the grant hasn't been approved yet. Okay, that's what I wanted to know. And sometimes the grant, what's the time frame for it to get approved if they're gonna write a check?
I think it's like up to 2 to 3 months.
Okay, but I don't have to wait 2 to 3 months if I want my wig.
No.
Or say, let me ask you this question. Let's say I paid for my wig of the $2,000. I'm like, all right, I got $2,000. I'll pay that, right? I know you're saying, let me give them a more realistic number so they don't be like, if it's $2,000, why I need it, right? No, let's say the wig, what's left over is $500. Your out of pocket expense is $500, right? If it's $500 and I say, oh, I got that, no problem, but you still want to, make sure that I could get it as free as possible, and you still go and you write the grant. Let's say I paid the $500 and 3 months later, you're like, Beverly, I got you approved for a grant. Do you do that, or you just kind of move on to the next patient who didn't have the $500 and try to get them the grant?
I would probably try to tell them hold off a little bit, and this is where I'm poor in the business area, because just being completely transparent. Yes. But if we did go that route, I would probably say, okay, we could either, because I don't want to refund, but we would probably say, okay, do $250 or hold off, or say, okay, I'll start working on the wig. I have some fires on the iron. let me hear, because it's going to take me some time to make the wig anyway. So let me just start working on the wig, and then we'll see where we are when we're close to finishing before it ships or
All
before
right.
we get
Now
it to
we
you.
got all that covered. So now what's next, right? What's the next step? Do we go wig shopping? Do I sit down and pick what I want? Like walk me through the experience.
Oh yeah, we have the discussion of, do you want donor hair? Do you want like just Cambodian hair? Like, what type of hair are you looking for? We need pictures of the style that you want, pictures of the texture of the normal texture of your hair. We need hairline, because as we know, like you were talking about with installs, hairline is the part that makes it on point. So
Right.
if nothing else, we need to get your hairline.
So we talk
on
about
point.
at what point? Before you go to the insurance company, or after? Once the insurance company determines everything and the grants and all that.
Kind of simultaneously, because it's a long process. So kind of simultaneously, like when we go over the paperwork and stuff, there is a medical history that you fill out. There's some things you fill out there, like what type of hair loss, did you lose your hair, and things like that. And then at that time, we'll probably start asking for photos and things at that time, so we can kind of get an idea of what it is that you want, because we have to come up with the cost.
Right. So basically, this is happening a little bit before you reach out to the insurance company.
Yeah.
So that you know how to bill them. So you can tell them, she wants. So basically, I'm going shopping and I'm sending you pictures. I'm sending you pictures of everybody here. And I'm like, I want to look like Beyonce. I want to look like Nicki Minaj. I want all of this stuff. And you're like, all right, Beverly, all right, calm down, girl, calm down. I'm telling you, I want to look like all of this. And I send you all that stuff. And then you put all the costs together. So it's not like you send me a book and I'm picking out the book.
No. We want you to tell. It's custom. Everything is, we want it. It's for you.
Right.
It's for you. And you get what you pay for. So this is, if you're paying coming out of your pocket this kind of way, it has to be customized towards because we want this. My thing has always been, I love hair. I love hair extensions. I love just hair. It needs to be the illusion that it's mine.
Right.
I need to fool people. I need people to be like, your hair grew like that, or I didn't know you had hair loss, or what? Like, your hair's so nice.
Right. So let's talk about that, because I know I see you. It's 36 minutes in, because this topic is so juicy to me. We can sit here all day and I'll be like, and then what? And then what? Hold on. Let me get us to the point a little bit. Sorry, y'all. All right. Now we shop for the hair. The payment is taken care of. All of that stuff is done. Now let's talk about the installation, the install. Once my wig is fully done, and let's give me a quick time frame of how long it takes for the wig to be completed.
It's 40 working hours. If I did straight, it's 4. So that's like 1 week, 8 hours a day. If I only work on your wig.
So give me a time frame.
It's not possible. So that's like, I would say maybe 2 to 3 months. If I could.
Listen, if it's free, I ain't complaining that it's going to take me about 3 months. It's going to do everything, okay? There's nothing.
Yeah, and you want me to be very interested. You don't want me to rush it.
Exactly. So let's say 3 months. Now it's 3 months, and you call me, and you like, Beverly, your wig is ready, girl. It's ready. And I'm like, oh my gosh, hold that thought now. Do I have to come from Brooklyn, New York, and go to Hollywood, Florida, which isn't far, but it's just the point I'm trying to make.
Right.
And you do the install for me, and whatever, or you can pop it in a box, mail it, and say, go to my hairstylist of choice. How does that work?
Both of those are an option.
Okay.
Both of those are an option. If you came down, then of course there will be an installation fee. But if you wanted to take it you can take it there, or you can ask us either to like kind of cut the lace shorter as so that you can install it yourself. If you want that's another part of the customizing. If you want us to put combs in, if you want us to put a band in, things like that, those are custom where you can just put it on, pret-a-porter, ready to wear, that you just put it on. You can do that. And those are the 3 options.
So, oh wait, you said 3. So the first one is you can install.
The first one is, yeah, you can come to us and we can install. That would be an extra
you
fee.
personally
You can go
do the
to
installations, or do you have someone on
yes.
your team? Okay.
Or you would and as I grow, I would probably have, but right now,
Right, you can do
it's yeah.
install.
So
And
it's
it could be invisible lace, honey. I want invisible lace. Like it's
yeah.
gonna look.
I'm actually working on this thin skin base where it's like really like mirroring your skin. It's not lace. It's like this front part. It kind of like where you don't have to use too much glue or glue at all, where it just sticks if you have less skin here. Where yeah, I'm working on that. Where it's called thin skin, and they have that for cancer patients already. But if I'm gonna make it, I
bring it
need
to the
to.
market. Okay.
Yeah,
So you could do
they
the
have it for
install.
cancer patients already. Yeah.
So you can do the install, or we can, you'll ship it to us, and we can go to our favorite hairstylist, and they'll do the install for us, right?
Right. Or you can install it yourself. That's
or we
the
can
third
install
option.
it ourselves, depending on how we ask for you to build it. Like,
right.
if you want it to be something that I could just throw on a Monday through Friday because I gotta look like something because I'm going to work, then you can do that too, right? Okay, watch Tyshawn talk about this last and final step right here, and then we'll be back with my crazy self.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is super exciting. This is tea. Anything that's tea for me, I think is tea. Yes, thin skin. Somebody just said thin skin. They're excited about that. So I'm just excited. Like I done got stuck with all of this stuff. Okay, so
I usually get this reaction.
You do get, because people are happy that I got my wig for free, sis. I got a fully customized wig, state of the art Lamborghini of wigs for free because I lost my edges, bruh. Like, we know hair loss is listen, okay. If you losing your hair, sis. If you losing your hair, if your edges, if your baby snatch your edges, your man snatch your edges, you snatch them, whatever, but you ain't got no hair or you alopecia, whatever. It don't gotta be nothing crazy. It don't gotta be cancer, thank God, right?
Yeah.
You tell me I could get a fully customized Lamborghini wig for free.
For free. If it's covered.
Right. With thin skin. Sis. It's gonna look like it's growing out my scalp, honey. I'm gonna be like,
yeah, the thin skin is a game changer.
Listen, and
that thin skin is definitely a game changer.
And you know why I'm so hyped? I'm so hyped because you imagine losing your hair. Right. Imagine losing your hair and feeling sad that you're losing your hair. But the benefit while you're getting your custom growth plan, while you're working with a dermatologist and trichologist to work on growing your hair and making it beautiful and flourish and all of that underneath that wig, you could get a free wig. So if you have temporary hair loss, sis, run. Don't walk to Tyshawn McCrae. Girl, don't say I didn't tell you. If the hair loss is temporary and you don't get you a free wig, you done lost out on your opportunity.
Yeah, because when it grow back, they barely want to cover it anyway. So if it grow back, they ain't covering it.
If it grow back, you on your own. You on your own. Oils and all that aloe vera on your hair, and it grew back. Since you can't get the free wig. So the minute your hair falling out, you better call Tyshawn McCrae and Custom Crowns and get you your free wig, sis. If you got health insurance, you could get a wig. Quick question: Medicaid. What's up with that? Does Medicaid cover the wig?
So those, I'm trying to remember. Oh, Medicaid and Medicare. You have to have a specific license to deal with the state that is very costly. That I am not at that level yet. Okay. So yeah, you have to have that. You have to have a license to work with the government for that. Yeah.
So for now, guys, I'm sorry if you don't have private insurance. If you have Medicaid and Medicare, there are options, but she's saying she doesn't do it. But for commercial insurance, for $11.99, for your MTA or whatever them plans, what's the TRICARE, the military, all of the other plans, you good, sis. Now, quick question now. If you Medicaid and Medicare, right? If you have Medicaid and Medicare, But can the grant still pay for the wig, or the grants is just gonna write you a check?
The grant will just write me a check, but it will not. I haven't seen a grant that's, I mean, unless it's like one of those, like I haven't really seen a grant that will cover more than $1,500, and that's a stretch.
Okay, $1,500.
Unless you win like a grant lottery, and they're like, oh, yep, your story is really, really
beautiful and
profound, and we just want to say whatever it costs.
Of course, we got you. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's if you have Medicaid or Medicare, and that's a different story. But everybody else, okay, if you weren't here, tuned in from the beginning, I'm not going to go through all the steps. You have to watch this, okay? Please watch this with a pen and pad, because I'm trying to help y'all to get a free lace front or fully laced with thin skin, state of the art, with the constellation on the roof wig, okay? Listen, if you don't have to have cancer. If you have a patch of baldness, you can get you a wig as long as you got a little diagnosis. And listen, Tyshawn will work with you. Okay. Already long. We 45 minutes in. Girl, there's so much to talk about. Yes, watch the replay and send it to your friends so y'all could go get you some real wigs out here. Arrogante who? Arrogante what? Arrogante what? Okay. I wish y'all would walk up in here now listen, when you get these wigs now, don't be starting no mess with nobody, because if they snatch it, that's completely your problem and your fault. If they snatch your wig, okay, because they think that you bought that wig in Cambodia, that's on you. We can't help you keep your wig, but we can help you get one, okay? And meanwhile, you're making sure that hair and that scalp is healthy underneath that wig, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you can no, let me not do that, because I'm like, maybe you can resell it when you don't need it no more. And girl,
well, it won't fit nobody else.
Yeah, because it's custom.
Unless they got their head, unless their head shapes like yours.
Okay. Let me not tell y'all nothing. That was the show. Listen, Tyshawn, I know there's so much that you have products, you got other stuff, but we 45 minutes in, so you got to come back. You got to come back. We have to talk again. This was definitely one of my favorite in a long time. And so tell everybody. Oh, and if you weren't here earlier, you don't have to be in Florida. You don't have to be in Hollywood, Florida. She could do all of this virtually. So you can be in Alaska and she can get you a wig. Okay? So real quick, how can people connect with you now if they are experiencing hair loss and they want their wig?
Instagram is customcrowns_LLC. That's on Instagram. And then on Facebook, you can follow me. It's Tyshawn McCray. And then I have also a custom crown page on Facebook. It's Sean McCray. And then the website is customcrownsextensions.com. Customcrownsextensions.com. And then this is a quick plug probably for the next show. We have a referral program for SMP, which is quick tattooing for hair loss, and we're doing a special $1,200 for 2 sessions and $100 referral for every paid client. So that's that quick plug. Quick
that means if I ain't got no edges and I want to tattoo some edges on, I can.
Yeah.
And it will look real.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. Hold that thought. We can't do it. We can't do
it today. But that was just a plug.
Listen, this is a good one. Y'all gotta watch it. Okay. When you clean it up on a Saturday and you don't want to listen to Scissor Good Days that Saturday, pop this in real quick. I'm trying to get you a free wig. And I'm not talking about no cheap wig from the dollar store. Anyway, that is it. Your girl, Bevy.
Thank you for having me.
Right. The Supernaturals podcast. Wherever you find us, YouTube, subscribe. If you on Instagram, follow. And if you on Spotify or Apple or whatever, make sure that you join the podcast, because we bringing you real tea over here, sis. Okay. All right, Tyshawn, it was such a blessing. I really enjoyed this. Y'all share this with your friends. Okay. Get them some free wigs, y'all. Okay. Don't be selfish. All right,
bye.
girl.
Later.